Tanner was enjoying his time in the CHR so far. He was able to haul trains up and down the hills without a care in the world. He was quick to make friends with all the engines in the shed, especially Chris. The two would be seen talking from dawn until dusk. Everything seemed to be going well for the first few weeks, until things changed. All of a sudden, it started getting harder and harder to fire Tanner up in the morning. His crew just couldn't wrap their heads around the problem. This, however, was the least of their worries. Eventually, Tanner developed a distinct knocking sound as he pulled heavy loads down the line.
Hey driver, what's that?
What is what?
That noise. Can't you hear it?
Huh? I thought that was you. Aren't you supposed to make that sound?
Last time I checked, no.
Huh. Well, we'll take a look when we get to the next siding. It wasn't long before Tanner developed more problems. As they pulled into the siding, steam started to leak from the big boy cylinders. Well, that's not good.
I could have told you that.
Tanner's driver and fireman hopped out and looked him over, but couldn't see the cause of the steam leakage or the knocking. Probably a faulty bearing somewhere. Just then, Mike passed by hauling a local freight train. Hey Tanner, you've been trailing water for the last quarter mile. You might want to get that checked.
Trailing water too? What could possibly go wrong now?
If history has taught us anything, it would be to never say that phrase, because as he did, disaster struck. What's going on in there?
It's getting pretty warm around here.
I can't control the fire. Something's blocking the injector. Steam pressure's rising. Hurry, dump the fire. On it. In seconds, Tanner's fire was dropped and the major crisis was averted. The driver and firemen were left scratching their heads as to what had happened. That night at the shops, the two crew tried to explain to Mr. Little what had happened. I can't explain it, sir. Catastrophic failure of all parts. If we hadn't done something, there would have been a serious accident. Well, I commemorate both of your efforts. Tanner, how are you feeling?
What is a word worse than bad?
I'll have my special mechanics in here by morning and they'll sort this all out. The next morning, the mechanics arrived and looked the big boy all over. Well, he has a rather large crack in his steam chest. You said this locomotive was recently overhauled? Yes, he was. They just finished a month ago. I'm surprised they missed that. It's a big detail to look over. I'll have to have a word with them. Anything else I should know? Oh, also his tubes are quite clogged. I don't really understand why, but that may have something to do with the failure. So there's no explanation. Nothing definitive. I'm just guessing here, but it could be the coal. What about it? Well, the coal doesn't burn hot enough and leaves a lot of soot and ash. I would try switching to a different kind of coal. This doesn't make any sense. Jerry runs on this stuff just fine. Well, sir, Jerry's a different engine. What doesn't make sense to me is that this is the same coal he ran on for his entire life. Why is he having problems now? I don't know. I really don't know. Once his steam chest was fixed, Mr. Little followed the mechanic's advice and had special coal shipped for Tanner. At the end of the week, he was steamed up and assigned a doubleheader with Ryan that the latter could have handled on his own. You ready to go, big guy?
I sure hope so.
Don't be nervous. Sure, you'll do fine.
Thanks, Ryan.
With that, the two engines began their trek up the hill. It was all going well until Tanner began to feel stuffed up.
I can't breathe.
Hey, put some effort in up there.
I can't.
With that, the train ground to a halt. Well, that went worse than I was expecting.
I'm sorry, Ryan. I just don't feel well.
I mean, it's not your fault. Come on, let's get you back to the shop and figure out this thing once and for all.
That sounds nice.
With Tanner back in the shops yet again, Mr. Little was not happy. Listen, I don't care what you have to do, just get him running. Alright. I think our best option at this point would be a conversion. You mean from coal to oil? Exactly. I think that with that, all our problems will be solved. It will be a bit pricey, though. I don't care how much it costs, just get it done. Aye, sir. It took many weeks to pull off such a complex task. But soon enough, the mechanics had Tanner's upgrades completed, and he was up and running again. Well, Tanner, you sure love to be the first in everything, don't you? First operational big boy in decades. Now the first ever big boy to be converted to burn oil. Well done.
I try, sir.
With the recent modifications, Tanner became a very productive engine indeed. He now hauls some of the heaviest loads the line has ever seen. He does so with ease and a smile on his smoke box.